So this is the first technical ukemi video that you're watching from us. I advise you to watch the previous two ones. So there's the Aikido Ukemi tutorial and Koregashi Ukemi tutorial. Right now we're going to look at Irimi Nage Ukemi tutorial. Some of the principles are the same, they repeat themselves, so that's why I suggest you to watch the other videos before. But we'll do our best to point out the specific ones for Irimi Nage, the ones which are specifically for that technique, so you would get the hang of how to be a good uke, how to do ukemi properly in this technique. So we're going to look at a couple of different versions. So one version is the static one. So basically where I enter straight into him, and from here I do the Irimi Nage. The other one is a more dynamic one. It's where I cut him out and bring him out. There's many intensive levels that you could do here, but we are going to look at the basics for this time. When our partner brings me out, here, common mistake that beginners do, they turn away. Again, so I'm turning my back here. If I'm turning my back, I lose my balance. It's easy to bring me down. He wouldn't even need to do Irimi Nage. He could just finish me here, straight down. So actually, a traditional way, and which makes sense in this kind of logical step-by-step analysis. So he brings me in, but I want to go in as well. So first of all, if I'm turning back here, as I said, it's easy to hurt me here. And also when he's going to do an Irimi Nage, it can go straight for my Adam's apple, which is dangerous. If I turn in here, so first of all, I give him the side of my neck, so it's not as dangerous for the neck. Also here, I'm able to, if I would need to go in and counter the technique. So basically, I do want to stay in for that reason. So I'm staying in so I could counter. And also, what's often said in many styles is that I'm going in as if I would want to punch. So that if he would let me go, here, I could either counter or I could come up with a punch. So I want to go towards him. Once more, he goes in here. Now when he brings me out, my back is going to come up, but when he throws me, notice, and this is more for beginners, but notice that I will, when I go down, I will bend my back in and roll back and forth. So basically, even by the fact that you're brought out, when you fall, you will need to go in, because otherwise you're going to go straight flat on your back. Now if we're going to look at a more dynamic version, so with the bringing out, so he brings me up and brings me out. Same as in other techniques, I want to go in. So he brings me towards him, but I also want to go towards him. So if I could either punch, or that if he would fail the technique, I could come in and counter. So I want to stay with him. And the rest pretty much stays the same. So here, you can also, depends on how low he brings you. Some styles, some teachers will bring their students very low, which means you can actually bounce back up with your hand. So here, I bounce back up. And also, something important, in ukemi many times, it is important when you have the chance to come back up. You don't want to stay down. If he brings me down quite a bit, beginners will oftentimes just want to stay here. But here, he could kick me, he could throw me, he doesn't need to do the technique anymore. But by the fact that he lets me stand up, I do want to stand up to counter, to do something, and that's where he uses my energy to finish me. So as I said, as you go down, you can push yourself back up with the hand, but basically when you have the chance to stand up, do stand up. That's a good position to be in. So once more, slowly, he brings me down, I go down, I come back up, I turn towards him, and here's the throw. Depends on how the person does the throw. You can either turn into a high fall right here. You can either do a backward roll, or even sometimes a forward roll. If the person is really going to make a tight technique, the person most likely won't even have the chance for a high fall or for a forward roll. It's mainly just going to be a backward roll. But if there's space, you can do either of the rest of the two.